Hello to you. My name is Maria Kądzielska and you are watching Poland Daily Culture. And here with me in the studio is George Byczyński, the editor of British Poles. Thank you very much for being with us.
Hello, thank you very much.
You're connected to a project of creating a monument of General Władysław Anders in London. I would say it's a disgrace that still he doesn't have his monument in London, but as I understand, it's very close to fulfill this task. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Sadly, there is no permanent bust or statue of any Polish general in any British museum. This can change. I was contacted by Anna Maria Anders, the Polish ambassador to Rome, about a special gift of the Polish veterans from America that would be a bust of this legendary Polish general. We got in touch with a British museum, the National Army Museum, a very prestigious place in the heart of Chelsea, the centre of London, of which chairman has Polish roots, Justin Maciejewski, and his roots are also linked with the Polish military. We offered him whether we could gift such a bust to the museum, and he very kindly agreed. This will be a very big moment for the history of Poland and the history of Polish community in the UK, because the National Army Museum will have a permanent bust of this great Polish general, and we are hoping for the unveiling of this bust this year with very special guests from the British and Polish governments.
So at which points are the works right now in order to do it? What would you basically need to eventually open, I would say, the small exhibition?
Well, first of all, the pandemic has to give us a bit of fresh air. By the time we plan to organize this event, hopefully there will be no more restrictions in the UK because of a very high amount of people receiving the immunity by the vaccines or by other means, for example, by going through COVID already. So hopefully we will be able to organize an event which will be bigger in size. The bust is ready. It's beautiful, it's magnificent, it's very powerful. But we're still collecting money. The Polish veterans in America have covered this and have already paid for it, but we still need to pay them back. So there is collection on the internet. We have still not collected the full amount, so if any of our listeners today could check out the website Pomnik Andersa just by Googling it, hopefully we could count on extra contributions.
I would say General Anders was so important for Polish history, but also for the history of Italy, for history of Britain, and he played an amazing role. And just the fact that there's no single sign of him in the map of London in the form of a bust or a sign, it's deeply saddening, because that's a very important part of history which could be lost if we don't do something with it.
Yes, I very strongly agree with this sentiment. I think it's the least we can do after so many years. The bust was designed by Maestro Byczyński, a great Polish artist. He sadly passed away very recently, so this will be his last creation. He's also the author of the very strong, very powerful monument of the Katyn Memorial in New York, in the States, and just the picture of this soldier being stabbed with a bayonet in his back. It is really, really strong. So he's the author of that, and his latest, sadly last, creation will be the bust of General Anders.
Well, beautiful, and I'm very happy it happened. Actually, there were a lot of fights all over the monument, of Katyn Monument, which was in New Jersey, just when you cross the river. And I would say very surprising, but also very moving. Everyone who passed it needed to learn a little bit like what was happening in Katyn. And since a lot of people across and like went through it, especially to the offices in New Jersey, I would say it was a constant reminder of history, extremely powerful. I do hope that the bust of Anders will have a similar role in the museum.
Yes, the story of the Katyn Memorial is sad indeed, because some politicians simply wanted to hide it from the prominent location, but the Polish community fought hard enough to defend it, which I think is great, and they managed to convince some councillors, and in the end they succeeded. But what it proves is that the fight for justice, the fight for history, never finishes. It's an ongoing struggle for us and for the next generations. And the truth about Katyn is you know, already it was hidden when the Polish forces wanted to reveal it, and they fought for it and they fought for it, and they managed to reveal it and preserve it. And similarly with that, and General Anders is very symbolic, because he represents that Polish spirit which fought together with the British, arms in arms, fighting for the same cause, for the same goal. And, well, the Poles especially were fighting for Poland to be free, which sadly did not happen for many dozens of years after. But they had an important struggle, and Monte Cassino is one of those battles that we know General Anders especially contributed to that. And this is what we also need to teach to not just our children, but this story needs to be heard in the United Kingdom, of how the Poles helped them fight for their freedom, how we helped to topple German Nazis, and that people who did it should never be forgotten.
And if the idea of having a bust of General Anders in the British Museum warms up your heart, go and check it online and maybe help them a little bit in order to fulfill this task. And thank you very much for being with us and watching Poland Daily Culture.